Hello, Prabhudas sir, can we start now? Prabhudas,
Yes, sir, we can start.
start பண்ணுங்க சார் நீங்க.
Okay,
Time
okay,
ஆயிடுச்சு. Okay, thank you.
okay. So, very good afternoon to each and everyone present here. And a special welcome to our guest speaker, Dr. Magil Velnathan, sir. So, Professor and Head, Mohammed Sadak Engineering College. A hearty welcome to you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
On behalf of Sri Sairam Institute of Technology, yes, sir. On behalf of Sri Sairam Institute of Technology, Department of Mechanical Engineering, so we welcome you for this session, sir. So let me take privilege to introduce the guest speaker. So Dr. Mail Velnathan, sir. So Professor and Head of the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Mohammed Sadak Engineering College. So he has teaching experience of around 20 years, and he is specialized in thermal engineering. So he has published papers in national and international conferences, and he has attended FTP workshops, conferences, a number of workshops and conferences. He is a life member of ISTE. So he has delivered a number of guest lectures, and he has guided a number of youth projects. So to his credit, he has been awarded the Best Teacher Award in 2007. Uh,
சார் பிரபுதாஸ் சார் அன்மியூட் பண்ணிக்கங்க.
sir,
Yeah, yes, audible.
shall I repeat the profile?
1 minute, sir. Yeah, நீங்க ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுங்க சார் நீங்க பிரபுதாஸ்.
Start பண்ணலாமா மறுபடியும்? Okay. Okay. So,
என்னாச்சு?
so good afternoon,
Okay. Anyway,
everyone.
Let me start, sir.
Let me take.
Yeah, yes, sir. Mail, sir.
Yes, sir.
You can start. You can
Yes,
start.
sir. Good evening, everyone. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you for your mind-blowing introduction. First, I must happy Engineers Day.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. First, I must thank management, principal, organizing committee, and team of Sairam Engineering, Sairam Institute of Technology for arranging wonderful opportunity to deliver a lecture in the STTP program. Please permit to share my screen.
இல்ல அது இல்ல அதுதான் முன்னாடியே அமௌண்ட்
Today we are going to discuss about the topic phase change materials for high temperature thermal energy storage in industries. Then outline of my presentation is split into two parts. In first part, we are going to discuss about the need for energy storage, thermal energy storage, lateral heat thermal energy storage, materials, then enhancement techniques and applications, then characterization studies, disbursement experiment, characterization techniques like SEM, DSC, XRD, and thermal cycling, etc. Also, conduct and studies like melting, solidification rate of PCM, and the nano dispersed phase change material, and the effect of heat flow, heat transfer fluid flow rate, and the inlet temperature, overall heat transfer coefficient, heat flow rate, and the efficiency and the effectiveness. In second part of my lecture, we are going to discuss about high temperature PCM in industries like solar and industrial process heat applications. The need for energy storage. Energy is an important for a social, economic, industrial, and technological development of our country. The increasing energy demand and the decreasing conventional energy sources pushes the world to exploit new and renewable energy sources. and to store energy in every possible means. To bridge the large gap between energy supply and energy demand, the concept of effective energy storage has been gaining momentum in the recent years. Energy storage is an extensive subject of interest to industrial professionals, scientists, engineers, and technologists. The significance of energy storage is to meet the flexible requirements, to fulfill the energy demand, to reduce the alternative power sources, to produce safe energy and less carbon footprint, to increase the overall performance of the system. The energy storage have four major classification based upon the users, like mechanical energy storage, chemical energy storage, then electrical energy storage, then thermal energy storage. And heat transfer mechanism in a thermal storage system. The thermal energy storage system can be store heat or cold to be used later under varying conditions such like temperature, place, or it may be power. The main use of thermal energy storage system is to overcome the mismatch between energy generation and energy use. It involves three steps. One is a charge, another one is a another one is a storage, and then discharge, giving a complete storage cycle. Then classification of thermal energy storage system. Now let us discuss about the types of thermal energy storage system. Basically, thermal energy storage system can be divided into three parts. One is called sensible heat storage, under which solid liquid material can work. The latent heat storage system, either it may be a combination of solid gas, solid liquid, liquid gas, or it may be solid solid. Then solid liquid further classified into organic PCM, then inorganic PCMs and adaptive PCMs. The organic PCMs and the inorganic PCMs are adaptive PCMs. The third one is a thermochemical storage. Either it may be a solid gas or liquid gas, or it may be gaseous phase. This is the overall type of energy storage system. Here are some examples of thermal energy storage methods. Sensible heat can be stored by hot water tank, or it may be underground thermal energy storage system. The latent heat can be stored by phase-change material. The thermochemical energy can be stored by adsorption or absorption, or it may be a thermochemical materials. Sensible heat storage. Now, what do you mean by sensible heat storage? In sensible heat storage, thermal energy is stored is based upon the specific heat capacity of the material. When whatever material we are going to choose, that should have higher specific heat capacity. That is the prime requirement. What material we are going to use in a sensible heat storage. Here the temperature of material varies and does not undergo any phase transformations. So during charging and discharging cycles. So the amount of energy stored in is given by Q is equal to integral between T1 to T2 C mCpT is equal to after simplification we get m CAS T2 minus T1, where Q is a quantity of heat stored in joules. Then T2 is T1 is initial temperature, T2 is the final temperature, and Ca is the average specific heat between T1 to T2. Therefore, the energy storage depends upon the amount of storage medium, that's a M. Then specific heat of the medium, that's Cp. Then difference between the change in temperature, that is a T2 minus T1. The second one is called a latent heat thermal energy storage system. In latent heat thermal energy storage system, the process of storing and releasing the thermal energy is based on the latent heat of fusion, while the storage medium undergoes a phase transformation. Now we need certain material which will change its characteristic between T1 to T2. For example, is water. Okay, we know if we are freezing the water is in solid phase. Then come to it room temperature, it comes to liquid phase. Then we rising the temperature, it comes to a gaseous stage. That means in different temperature, water behaves different phase. One phase it is a solid, one phase it is a liquid, one phase it is a gas. As the source temperature increases, the chemical bonds of the phase in material breakups, which leads to transformation from one phase to another. So solid having perfect lattice structure. For example, liquid, there is no crystal structure. In gas, atoms are freely moved. Energy stored in latent heat thermal energy storage system is given by Q is equal to integral between T1 to Tm, mCp Tt plus mam delta hm plus integral between Tm to T2, mCp Tt. After simplification, we can get m Cp Tm minus T1 plus am delta hm plus Cp T2 minus Tm. Here, the Tm is the melting temperature of the PCM. The phase transition of the material can be solid-solid, or it may be solid-liquid, or it may be liquid-gas combination. Thermochemical energy storage. Energy can be stored in a chemical reaction, which can occur in both forward and reverse direction. Endothermic energy can be used to form a product. The energy stored in a product can be weakened by exothermic under specific conditions. From figure, you can see thermochemical energy can be roughly presented as the following sequence, like a figure. The heat during the charging, the heat plus the black in color is a A, the blue in color is a B. So A plus B gives C plus D. It's an endothermic charging process. Okay. Then the storage. The reactants can store thermal energy for long duration. During discharging, it's an exothermic. C plus D. This is a C is a black color. D is in blue in color. So C plus D gives C plus heat. So it's an exothermic discharging process. In bottom of the slide, showing that some thermochemical storage materials. Then the sensible heat storage materials. The material should have high specific heat, long-term stability, non-toxic, inexpensive. Okay, it can be divided into two parts. One is a solid, another one is a liquid. The solid materials like concrete, cast iron, bricks are used for temperature range of 400 to 1200 degree Celsius. The advantage is a low cost. Then liquid storage media. Among the liquid, water is the best and the most commonly used storage medium at a low temperature range. It may be from 25 to 90 degrees Celsius. After 90 degrees Celsius, it is in saturation temperature of water. So other substitutes are for water are petroleum-based oils, liquid sodium, and molten salt, etc. And heat transfer mechanism in the thermal energy storage system. During the charging process, on top of the in this diagram, so the heat stored during the charging process or melting process, when the PCM at solid state is heated, its temperature increases until it reaches the phase change point. Over this temperature range, heat is stored in sensible form. Further heating of then here, the red in color, the PCM in liquid state. The further heating of material incurs solid to liquid phase. And the heat is stored in latent heat form while maintaining the constant temperature. During this period, once the phase change is completed, The PCM is in liquid stage. So this stage is called a complete melting. Okay. During the discharging process, when the PCM at the liquid state is cooled, its temperature decreases until it reaches the phase end point. Over this temperature range, the heat is released in sensible form. So this stage, the bottom of the red color, no, that stage. Further cooling of material occurs liquid to solid phase transition, and heat is released in a latent heat form while maintaining the constant temperature during this period. Once the phase change is completed, PCM is in solid state. So it's a complete cycle completed. So melting and solidification cycle completed. Okay. So this green and this red in color shows that melting, and this red color and this green color shows that solidification. Then properties of phase change material. The thermal properties like the melting and the solidification temperature of PCM in the range of deciding operating temperature conditions. Then a latent heat of fusion higher with respect to unit volume compared with the sensible heat. Then specific heat and thermal conductivity in solid and liquid phase that must high for enhancing heat transfer rate. Then kinetic properties like relatively low degree of supercooling, or less or no supercooling. That should be no supercooling exhibited by the PCM. Then third one is the chemical properties. The chemical and thermal stability to withstand the heat and elevated temperature, like non-toxic, non-flammable, non-explosive. Then economic aspects like easily available, low cost, and wide range of applications. These are the examples of economic. Then lateral heat storage can be divided into three parts. One is an organic material, another one is an inorganic material, another one is an eutectic materials. Organic materials are divided into two parts. One is an paraffin or wax based. Another is an non-paraffin. Okay, what is meant by organic PCM? A phase change materials which contains carbon atoms is known as organic PCM. Organic PCMs are available for wide range of temperature applications between 300 degrees Celsius till 300 degrees Celsius. The examples like paraffin wax, polyclinical, earthcloth, etc. Now, what is the advantage of using this type of material? Because this kind of materials are freezing without much supercooling or subcooling, ability to be incorporated directly, low vapor pressure in phase change process, then good thermal performance. These are the advantages. But of course, it is having certain disadvantages also. It is having lower thermal conductivity. Some are insoluble in water. Then low phase change enthalpy, low density. These are the some disadvantages of organic PCMs. Then inorganic PCM. Next, we are going to discuss about the inorganic type of PCMs. Inorganic PCMs are material which consist of salt hydrates, nitrates, and metallics. The inorganic PCMs are also used for high temperatures up to 1500 degrees Celsius. Example: sodium nitrate, sodium chloride, magnesium bromide, potassium nitrate, etc. These are all the material examples of inorganic PCMs. Inorganic PCM having certain advantages also, which are those: the high thermal conductivity, large heat storage capacity, then low volumetric expansion, high heat of fusion per unit volume, then less costly. These are the recyclable. These are the greater phase change enthalpy. These are the advantages. But of course, it is having certain disadvantages also. High degree of supercooling, lack of thermal stability, then phase segregation, and then these are the some disadvantages. Then we'll go for eutectic materials. Eutectic PCMs are mixture of two or more components at a particular percentage of composition. So the components can be either it's a combination like organic, then organic, inorganic, or inorganic, inorganic. Okay. This material having certain advantages also. which of those sharp melting temperature. Sharp melting temperature means and the melting occurs at a melting point near the melting point. For example, if I take erythritol or paraffin mean, the paraffin mean is melting temperature is 40. 40 mean the melting occurs 39 or 41 is a sharp melting temperature. Then volumetric, high volumetric thermal storage density. Then no phase segregation and so there is no phase segregation during the phasing process. Then, but of course we are having some disadvantages also. The lack of currently available test data for thermophysical properties because of we are combined two or more components. That's why there is no standard data available for the additive materials. Then low the low total latent heat capacity. Okay, these are some examples of additive PCM, disadvantages of additive PCM. Okay. The scatter diagram for high temperature PCMs. The latent heat enthalpy for different types of high temperature phasing material at a different melting temperature. In this diagram, we can show sugar alcohol, which includes erythritol, then mannitol, then organic materials which contains polyethylene, then molten salt which contains lithium nitrate, then metals like which contains zinc. These are some examples of high temperature PCMs. So suitable PCM can be found for a wide range of operating temperature with the latent heat capacity of the material. Choose from this diagram. Okay, there's a comparison among this different type of thermal energy storage system. The latent heat thermal energy storage system has the most flexible operating temperature range, followed by the considerably lower operating temperature ranges for sensible and thermal chemical storage. The advantage of using latent heat over sensible heat storage technology is that it has 10 times higher thermal energy storage density, a capacity of 50 to 150 kilowatt hour, and round trip efficiency of 75 to 96%. So that's why I'm choosing the latent heat as an energy storage system.
Cash on delivery ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಲ್ವಾ ನೀವು?
The latent heat thermal energy storage system, normally phasing materials having less thermal conductivity and less latent heat enthalpy. In order to enhance the performance of the latent heat thermal energy storage system, the following techniques are used. First one, addition of nano and metal additive to the base PCM, which will enhance the thermal conductivity and heat transfer rate. Next method, like encapsulation and soaked materials and shape stabilization of base PCM. The latent heat thermal energy storage systems are used in heat applications like solar thermal applications, process heat applications, then waste heat recovery system, photovoltaic, this is a hybrid photovoltaic thermal application, PVT applications, and then internal gain for passive applications, and the cooling applications like insulation, ventilation, and evaporative cooling like that. So here the set of application of PCMs using using various field to improve the efficiency of the system due to its isothermal nature. First one is an solar energy, solar air heating system, solar water heating system, then solar power plants, then buildings, passive and active technology. In order to cool that or heat the building, we can use the passive and active technology. The cooling applications like solar cooling, thermoelectric refrigeration like that, or solar absorption refrigeration, then heating, hot water system, then heat exchanger material, then power plants, solar power plants like a concentrated solar thermal power, then food industries like a super chilling of food processing, then spacecraft applications like a space thermal control. Novel class of nanoparticle displays the PCM by disposing the graphene nanoparticle with the 3 different mass mass fraction in erythritol PCM is presented. The physical properties of characterization of novel nano-dispersed phase-change material were analyzed, and enhancement in the heat transfer properties of NDPCMs are reported, and results are summarized in next slides. The high thermal conductivity PCM erythritol is selected for using the in listed PCMs like and the erythritol mostly used in food industries. It has high density of 1480 kilogram per cubic cube, and it allows large quantity of erythritol to be packed in a small volume because of high melting. Okay, it can be used in absorption chiller, steam generator, then industrial waste heat recovery, and solar cookers. The nanoparticle should have higher possible thermal conductivity. The carbon-based nanoparticle can be directly used to enhance the thermal conductivity and shape stabilization of PCM. The graphene is a two-dimensional form structure, so due to the time constraint, go fast. The experiment, disbursement experiment, graphene dispersed erythritol PCM was prepared by two-step method. The erythritol was melted approximately at 120 degrees Celsius by hot plate and then poured into the beaker. The beaker was kept in an ultrasonic vibrator for 2 hours. A certain amount of graphene nanoparticle, it may be a 0.1%, 0.5%, and 1% was added with the molten PCM. The ultrasonic temperature was about 140 degrees Celsius because of it should be above the melting point of the PCM. The bottom of the slide shows that some samples of the experiment. Then characterization techniques. The PCM characterization techniques can be classified into two types. One is an thermal characterization, another one is a chemical characterization. The thermal characterization include to study the phase change material, then latent heat, and the thermal conductivity and the thermal stability of the phase change material. Then chemical characterization techniques like the study to find the size and shape and the crystallization structure of the phase change material. Then chemical characterization techniques. The surface morphology of the PCM, the microstructure and the morphology of erythritol with 0.1%, 0.5%, and 1% graphene nanoparticle samples were investigated by field emission scanning electron microscope analysis. Is a FESM. The size of the nanoparticle sample was found to be a 28 nanometer to 35.8 nanometer. The SEM images show that a graphene nanoparticle randomly distributed and hold the nanoparticle in a fixed position. Then chemical stability analysis of the NDPCM. The Fourier transform infrared, that's FTIR spectra was measured in a range varying from 4000 centimeter per -1 to 400 centimeter per -1. This observed FTIR result suggests that there are no chemical reaction between erythritol and graphene, as the change in all peaks between pure erythritol and graphene erythritol is negligible. The next one is an X-ray diffraction spectra for pure erythritol and erythritol with the 1% nanoparticle is shown in figure. The crystal size was calculated to be 35 nanometer, and the lattice strain was 0.0062 for pure erythritol. It can be concluded that the addition of the graphene to erythritol has peak intensity. It was approximately similar to the erythritol and indicates the graphene produced no crystal changes in the erythritol. Then the differential scanning calorimetry was used to determine the latent heat and the phase change temperature of melting and freezing of PCM and NDPCM. Thermal characterization techniques. The thermal conductivity test used to know the long-term stability of the storage material. The thermal cycling system was designed to operate between 30 degrees Celsius and 140 degrees Celsius. Totally 1000 cycles, each cycle consisting of one melting and one freezing process were done. Okay. Then this is a physical state of the phase change material and nano dispersed phase change material during melting and solidification, like this. Then thermal conductivity, the different methods of to find the thermal conductivity at a transient and steady state conditions. Then in a transient method includes hot wire, thermocouple, and hot wire, then TPS method, LFI method, and AC. In steady state method includes hot plate method and heat flow meter method. Then thermal conductivity LFI method. The thermal conductivity of the LFI method, thermal conductivity of the PCM or NDPCM can be calculated by LFI method. The thermal conductivity of the erythritol was obtained with the increase in the weight fraction of graphene due to its high thermal conductivity. The bottom of the graph shows that the thermal conductivity of the erythritol is 0.733 watt per meter Kelvin due to the addition of watt per meter square. Then due to the addition of 1% graphene with the erythritol lead to 53.1% increase in the thermal conductivity. That's why we are choosing that. Here an experimental investigation we have done to analyze the effect of various inlet temperature and the mass rates of terminal 55 as a heat transfer fluid on the rate of melting and the solidification of phase PCM erythritol and the NDPCM in the horizontal cell and helical tube latent heat thermal energy storage system, and the results are compared in future slide. The next one is the photographic view of the experimental setup used in the current research work. It consists of a heat exchanger, then high temperature bath, low temperature bath, then a circulation air bumper, and K-type thermocouples, data acquisition unit, and the necessary piping systems. The heat storage container consists of a tube surrounded by the heat storage material. The photographic view of the helical coil tube. Here 20 numbers of K-type thermocouples with a measuring range of 0 to 275 degrees Celsius located axial direction. The thermocouple were also placed at the inlet and outlet of the tube. Then it's a schematic diagram of the experimenter, schematic of the experimenter used for a charging and a discharging experimenter. So 8.5 kilogram of heat storage material was loaded into the system. The heat storage material mean first we are using the simply PCM, then we are using the nano PCM, 1% of graphene. Erythritol with 1% of graphene. One thermal cycle consists of one complete melting and one complete solidification for PCM and NDPCM. The melting time of NDPCM was reduced by 22% as compared with the phase erythritol. It's a significant result. Then the solidification time of NDPCM was decreased by 23% as compared with the pure erythritol. Okay, due to time constraint, we'll go faster. The effect of heat transfer flow, inlet temperature. The melting time was decreased by 19% for pure PCM and about 21% for NDPCM when the inlet temperature was increased from 160 to 180 degrees Celsius. The solidification time was reduced by 10% for PCM and 14% for NDPCM. When the heat transfer flow, the inlet temperature was decreased from 45 to 30 degrees Celsius. Then the effect of heat transfer fluid. It's a heat transfer oil. We are the term we are using in our research, but commonly telling that heat transfer fluid. The melting time was decreased to 20% for PCM and the 30% for NDPCM. When flow rate increased from 0.5 to 2 kilogram per minute. Then solidification time was reduced by 19% for PCM and 20% for NdPcm when the flow rate increased from 0.5 to 2 kg per minute. Then performance investigation were done. The overall heat transfer coefficient increased 7% during the melting process and by 6% during the solidification process. This is a formula to find out the overall heat transfer coefficient. Then for the heat flow rate. The beginning of the melting process, the heat flow from heat transfer fluid to the PCM increased by 3%, and for heat transfer fluid to the NdPcm is 4%, for 5% increase in inlet temperature. The beginning of solidification process, heat flow from PCM to the heat transfer fluid increased by 4% and NdPcm to PCM by 7%. Then efficiency, the charging efficiency of the system was increased by 32.8% for PCM and 42.87% for erythritol with graphene. The discharging efficiency of the system was 38.25% for PCM and 55.08% for NdPcm. The phasing efficiency of the NdPcm is higher than the PCM, which is due to the dispersion of graphene nanoparticle in the erythritol PCM. Then effectiveness, this is a formula to effectiveness. The effectiveness is a Q actual by Q theoretical. Then effectiveness decreases with the increase in mass flow rate of heat transfer fluid. Because the increase in heat transfer rate involves the reduce the heat transfer flow between inlet and outlet, hence the effectiveness decreases. In a melting process, effectiveness of NdPcm was 14% greater than the PCM. In the solidification process, effectiveness of NdPcm was 12% greater than the PCMs. Okay, yeah. Our first part of our presentation is over. In second part, high temperature PCM in industrial applications. We are going to discuss about that. The percentage of heat demand in the industrial sector. The report showed that 30% of industrial heat demand is below 100 degrees Celsius. 27% is a medium temperature, it may be 100 to 400 degrees Celsius, and 47 is a high temperature. The International Energy Association, solar heating and cooling, fixed the industrial heat demand at a medium temperature between 100 to 400 degrees Celsius is 19% of the total heat demand. This demand can be solved by utilization of waste heat energy from industries. It is essential to store the excess energy, and the energy stored can be recovered and reused when it is required. Here the relationship between the performance of the heat storage device and the properties of heat storage materials, and also shows that about two are the influence one another because of the performance of thermal energy storage device and properties of thermal energy storage material are mutually interchangeable. The summary of the thermophysical property lights up. This is a high temperature molten salt. The summary of thermophysical properties of some excellent high temperature molten salts are available in the table. And the commercially available PCMs like these are the bottom of the slide. The commercially available low temperature, high temperature molten salts. The pure inorganic salt. For high temperature applications, the inorganic salts have the great interest. They have the range of melting temperature from 253 degrees Celsius for pure lithium nitrate. In the graph itself, you can see pure lithium nitrate. Then high temperature is 1580, 1580 for pure lithium sulfate. These are the range of high temperature PCMs. These are the mixture of different salt allows to reduction in melting point. It's an important point. For example, fluorides and the mixers. So here the lateral heat is reduced. The melting point of the sodium nitrate can be decreased by mixing it with the other salt like sodium hydroxide. The latent heat of fusion mixer is increases. This is the advantage of using the electric mixers. So now in this slide I want to show some video about a solar thermal power plant incorporated with the thermal energy storage systems. So it is visible. These are the solar collectors. Here the heat can be recovered using this one. So molten salt or heat transfer fluid. The red in color is a hot. The blue in color is a cold one. The heat is stored in the thermal energy storage tank, then passed over the pipe. This is a steam producing unit. Here water is there. So the heat transfer fluid passed over that heat exchanger. So water is converted into steam. The steam passes through the steam turbine. Here the power is produced. So the remaining steam passes over the condenser. So return back to that. Here is a cooling tower. Here hot fluid passes over there. So remaining return back to storage tank. It's a daytime. Okay, understand? Please understand. It's a daytime. The daytime the heat is transferred from solar field and stored in that storage tank and produce the power in daytime. When it is solar is available, solar energy is available. So it is a night time. There is no solar energy is there. So the remaining energy stored in that heat energy storage tank. This can be produce the steam through this one. Okay. The direct absorption based solar collector working with a high temperature heat storage material. This system with a paraphilic dust collector to provide intensive heat for many industrial processes such as electrical power generation and absorption refrigeration systems. This unit available in Spain. The charged nanofluid can be transferred heat to the phasage material to enhance the stable heat supply. The direct active two-tank thermal storage system. The salt 60% sodium nitrate, 40% potassium nitrate are used as a phase change medium. Hot and cold fluids are stored in separately. No additional heat exchanger. Then fast heat transfer. Then for freezing of salt 120 to 220 degrees Celsius. The auxiliary heater is used required to maintain the temperature above freezing during the night time. Next, the indirect active single tank thermal storage system. The hot and cold fluids are stored in same tank. The hot and cold tanks are separated by the stratification effect. The controlled charging and discharging are necessary to maintain the stratification. These are examples of this one. Then one next, the concentrated solar power. I show some video. This is a concentrated solar power. It's having 1000 numbers of mirrors, reflect concentrated solar light, generate heat as well as electricity. Nearly 10,000 tracking mirrors are used in the unit. So 4 square miles, the area is 4 square miles. The receiver one. Here, the heat exchanger, like in 550 feet, the receiver is there. It's a black surface. It absorbs the heat from the concentrated solar light. Then the molten salt as a working fluid. The heat transfer fluid is a molten salt. It's a heat capture medium. It acts as a heat capture medium or a heat transfer fluid. System operated in low temperature also. Convenient to energy capture and storage. Here, so how it is stored mean? It is a hot thermal storage tank. So hot HDF passed over the or molten salt passed over the hot storage tank. 10 to 16 hours we can store. Here the hot molten salt flow over that. It's an energy collection and storage mechanism. The hot storage tank from the heat transfer fluid or molten salt passed to the high temperature molten salt passed over the heat exchanger. Here there is a steam generator. Okay, steam can produce here. The remaining the cold molten salt passed over the cold storage tank. So from the cold storage tank, they passed over that then tower. Okay. The steam is produced the steam pick the steam turbine and produce the power, then pass over the condenser. It's a water storage tank or it may be a condenser like that. So this is the cycle. Then molten salt, it generated high quality of superstructure steam, the maximum efficiency. Generated okay. Steam generator process. So it's a conventional systems. It is 100% renewable and 0% carbon footprint. So on demand, reliable electricity from the renewable source, the sun. Okay. We can produce the energy night time also. Industrial waste heat recovery with the thermal storage system. The heat transportation container using a high temperature PCM. the schematic for trans heat system using the PCM and the heat transfer container. So this is the container setup. So this also I am having some video to show you. It's a high temperature. It's a high temperature thermal battery module. I will show. These are the modules. It is a recyclable, okay. Like a shipping container. The size is just like a shipping container. Up to 270 models. So the thermal storage technology can be used anywhere else, produce heat anywhere, and used in anywhere else. Okay. The direct or indirect contact energy storage container immobilized thermal storage system. Previous video we seen that. The mobilized thermal energy storage system has developed to recovered energy, industrial energy waste, excess heat for distributed users. The direct contact storage container achieves shorter charging discharging process than the indirect contact one. So these are the applications. We are at the end of the session. Thank you all. Stay safe. Any queries, please ask.
Participants, if you are having any questions, please raise your hand.
Sir, thank you, Mailendran sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, the participants are gave a good feedback, sir. Excellent feedback.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
2 minutes video itself shows the entire process of the PC materials storage.
Nowadays,
I think you did a lot of research work in the DC material also. Yeah, I saw you in your LinkedIn profile. You regularly posted your certificates and research oriented work.
I am consultant for that energy cost also, sir. Energy
super,
cost, you know, sir, that battery is.
Okay, energy cost in thermal energy storage. Okay, it is
Yes,
government
only you got a
government approved,
sir.
Government approved course, sir. That one.
No, sir. It is an international company.
Okay.
Energy Nest, sir. Energy Nest is approved thermal storage, thermal energy batteries. They are producing thermal energy batteries.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you all the participants. Thank you very much, sir. On behalf of Sri Sai Ram Institute of Technology Management and also Department of Mechanical Engineering, we thank our eminent guest, Mailendran sir from Southside College, and he delivered a good lecture about PCM materials. Thank you very much, sir. In first phase also he came and delivered the lecture topic of PCM material. And thank you very much, sir. Thank you once again. If you are having any research-oriented doubts regarding your PC material, kindly take sir's mobile number and also email ID and contact him in the future purpose.
And also publications are there.
Yeah.
So search my name. So go to the publication. Okay. And any doubts, you can ask there. I thank Dr. Sanmusundram sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. Then,
Poncham only introduce
Yes, sir,
yourself
yes, sir.
for our institute.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Okay, and
Yes, sir.
in spite of
Thermal
your in spite of your busy schedule, you are a head of the department. I know very well.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, in spite of your busy schedule, you
Yes,
deliver a
sir.
lecture in front of all the participants. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, thank you, sir. Well, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Sir, our student, Mr. Manigandan is here.
Manigandan.
Manigandan.
Manigandan. Yeah, kindly introduce Manigandan.
Open your video.
Yeah, voice is not clear, Manigandan.
We need to see your face.
Oh, Sairam Engineering College. Right. Okay.
Sir, Manigandan.
Yeah, Manigandan. Yeah. Good evening, Manigandan. Yeah. The professor is here.
Hello, sir.
Tell me. Anything on
Sir, I am Thomas Engineering passport.
Passport, Manigandan. How are you? My student. No?
Sir, Ganesh Kumar sir is also here.
Oh, Ganesh.
Ganesh Kumar sir is also here.
Okay,
Ganesh Kumar also Sairam Engineering College.
No.
No,
He is
sir,
from
ma.
Mohammed Sadak Engineering College, Polytechnic.
HOD, sir. Mechanical.
Yes, mechanical HOD.
Manigandan is working in Sairam, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, Sairam.
yeah, another participant, sir. Nallavan, sir, you are coming from which college? Kindly introduce, sir. Nallavan, sir. Yeah, participants. I think he is a professor from north side.
Sir, audio is not available. Audio is not connected.
Yeah, yes. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Poncham Kumar. Thank
Oh,
you very
yes,
much.
sir. Yeah, we can meet in another session, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.